Good morning everyone, welcome to Sarthi classes. Today we are discussing what are real numbers from chapter 1 of class 10th. In this chapter, there are 5 major topics. The first one being Euclid division lemma, second one is Euclid division algorithm, third one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic, fourth is proving irrationality of numbers, fifth one is determining the nature of decimal expansion of rational numbers. In this video, we are only studying what is Euclid's division lemma, and we are going to do some questions from this topic. In the next videos, we will study these 4 topics consecutively. So let us start the first topic. The first topic is Euclid division lemma. Okay. You all guys have already studied what is Euclid's division lemma in your earlier classes. You must know that if I divide 5 by 2, then the quotient comes 2 and the remainder is 1. So I can write this division as 5 equals to 2 times 2 plus 1. This is what we call as Euclid's division lemma. It states that if there exist two positive integers a and b, then there exist two unique integers q and r such that a equals to bq plus r. Okay, if I write the statement here, the statement is let a and b be any two positive integers, then there exist unique integers q and r such that a equals to bq plus r, where values of r lies between 0 to 1 less than b. Now, here a is the dividend, b is the divisor, q is the quotient, and r is the remainder. And we know then the value of remainder is always less than the divisor. Okay, if I divide 7 by 3, then the remainder will be 1. Okay, if I divide 8 by 3, then the remainder will be 2. But the next term, if I divide 9 by 3, then the remainder will come out to be 0. Okay, so the value of remainder was 0, 1 and 2, but it cannot be 3, that is equal to the divisor. So value of remainder is always less than the divisor. Okay, this theorem which I stated is applicable for positive integers when this expression holds true, but we can also apply this statement for negative integers. Okay, so if a and b are any integers that can be positive or negative, then the expression will be like this. Unique integers q and r such that a equal to bq plus r and r lies between 0 to 1 less than mod of b. The question is why I have written mod of b instead of b. The point is, if I divide any number, let 3 by any other number, let 2. Okay, here the 3 can also be negative or this 2 can be positive, है ना? Either they both can be negative or they both can be positive. They are any integer. Okay, so if I divide 3 by minus 2, the division comes out to be minus 1. Okay, and the remainder comes out to be 1. The remainder will be 1 in each case. The remainder will always come out to be positive. Okay, so that is why I have written mod of b instead of b. Okay, this is the most basic question from this topic. We need to prove that any positive integer is of the form 3q plus 1 or 3q plus 2. Okay, so let us consider the positive integer be a. Let us consider the positive integer be a, and we can see that the coefficient of q in all three cases is 3. So let us consider the value of b as 3 and b equals to 3. Then according to Euclid division lemma, what do we get? We get that a equals to 3q plus r, where value of r should lie between 0 and 2. है ना? 0 is inclusive, 3 is not inclusive. Now value of a is bq plus r, value of b is 3. So the statement is a equal to 3q plus r. If you put different values of r, here case 1 we write r equals to 0, in case 2 we write r equals to 1, and in case 3 we write r equals to 0. So value of a can be 3q plus 0, 3q plus 1 and 3q plus 2. So we get a equals to 3q, a equals to 3q plus 1 and a equals to 3q plus 2. So we get that any positive integer is always of the form 3q, 3q plus 1 or 3q plus 2. What this means is basically if we divide any positive integer by 3, then the remainder will be either 0, 1 or 2. Okay, you just take any positive integer. Let us take 26. If I divide it by 3, then the remainder can be either 0, 1 or 2. If we divide it by 3, then the answer comes to be 8 and the remainder is 2. So the remainder is 2 in this case. If we divide another number, let us take 28, then the remainder will be 1. Okay, and if I take another number 27, then the remainder will be 0. Okay, now let us take another questions. In this problem we need to prove that any positive odd integer, है ना? Focus here on this odd term. Any odd integer is of the form 4q plus 1, 4q plus 3. Here 1 and 3 are both remainders, q is quotient and b and 4 is b. So let us assume that the odd positive integer, any positive integer, let a be any positive integer and b equals to 4. Then according to Euclid's division lemma, we get a equals to 4q plus r, where value of r lies between 0 to 3. Both 0 to 3 both inclusive. Okay, now if you see here, the question was we need to prove that positive odd integers are of these forms, but we have taken a to be a positive integer. When we will solve this question, there we will get 4 cases: 4q plus 1, 4q plus 2 and 4q plus 3, out of which we will find that a equals to 4q and a equals to 4q plus 2 will be even terms. So the remaining 4q plus 1 and 4q plus 3 will be odd terms. Let us solve this question. First, take case 1. In this case, value of r is 0. Now take the second case in which value of r is 1. Then take the third case in which value of r is 2. And then take the fourth case in which value of r is 3. Now if you put r equal to 0 in this equation, we get a equals to 4q plus 0. If we put r equals to 1 in this equation, we get a equals to 4q plus 1. And if you put r equal to 2, then we get a equals to 4q plus 2. And putting r equal to 3, we get a equals to 4q plus 3. Now, if you look here, a equals to, I can write this 4 as multiples of 2. So it is 2 times 2q. Okay. Now, in this expression, I can write it as 4q plus 2 minus 1. Okay. So a equals to, if I take 2 common from these two terms, I get twice of 2q plus 1 minus 1. Okay. If I take 2 common from these terms, I get 2 into 2q plus 1. And if I take, first of all, I can write this 3 as 2 plus 1. So, if I take 2 common from these two terms, I get 2 times 2q plus 1 plus 1. Now, I use proper substitution to make these terms of the form 2m or 2m minus 1 or 2m plus 1. So, let 2q equals to m or k, whatever variable you like. So, putting 2q as m in this equation, we get a equals to 2m. Here, let 2q plus 1 equals to m. So, substituting 2q plus 1 as m in this equation, we get a equals to 2m minus 1. Substituting 2q plus 1 as m, we get a equals to 2m, and substituting 2q plus 1 as m, we get a equals to 2m plus 1. So we can clearly see that in case 1 and in case 3, a is an integral multiple of 2. Okay, I can get a by multiplying any integer, m is an integer term, by 2. Okay, but in case 2 and in case 4, I cannot get a by multiplying an integer by 2. I have to do an addition or a subtraction of an odd integer, that is 1 in both cases. So, case 1 and case 3 results are even numbers because they are multiple of 2, and results of case 2 and case 4 are not integer, even number, they are odd numbers. So, what do we get? We get that a equals to 4q plus 1 and a equals to 4q plus 3 are both odd positive integers. Okay, the statement, given statement is true and it is proved. Okay, so let us solve some more questions from this topic. In this problem, we have an expression n square minus 1, and we need to prove that n square minus 1 is always divisible by 8 if n is an odd positive integer. Now, in the problem we solved just before it, we said that any odd positive integer is of the form 4q plus 1 and 4q plus 3. We know that any positive odd integer is of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3. So let us solve both cases by substituting value of n as 4q plus 1 and 4q plus 3. In case 1, we substitute value of n as 4q plus 1, and in case 2, we substitute value of n as 4q plus 3. Now, substituting value of n as 4q plus 1 in the expression n square minus 1, we get whole square of 4q plus 1 minus 1. That is 4q plus 1 minus 1 into 4q plus 1 plus 1. Okay. If we use the identity a square minus b square, that is equals to a plus b times a minus b. You must be knowing this. A square minus b square equals to a plus b into a minus b. So I have done a minus b here and a plus b here. Okay. So what we get, n square minus 1 equals to 4q times 4q plus 2. Now, I can take 4 common from this term 4q and 2 common from this term. So we get 2q plus 1. Now, if I take 4 and 2 common from all these terms, then we get 4 2s are 8. And here we get q times 2q plus 1. Okay, you need not to solve this expression internally. What we wanted to do was to take 8 common from these terms so as to prove that it is divisible by 8. And we have find out that 8 is a factor of n square minus 1. So n square minus 1 is divisible by 8 when the value of n is 4q plus 1. Now we will solve it for 4q plus 3. Now if I substitute value of n as 4q plus 3 in n square minus 1, what do we get? We get 4q plus 3 whole square plus 3. On solving the expression, we get 16q square plus 9 plus 24q plus 3. Now 16q square plus 24q plus 9 plus 3 is 12. Now see, 16, 24 and 12 are all multiples of 4. So we can take 4 common. Sorry, I have done a mistake here. We need to put 4q here minus 1. Okay, now this is correct. On solving it, we get 16q square plus 24q plus 8. Now, all these terms 16, 24 and 8 are multiples of 8. So, we can take 8 common from all these terms. On taking 8 common, we get 2q square plus 3q plus 1. So, again, we can see that this whole expression, is a multiple of 8. Okay. So, in both the cases, when the value of n was 4q plus 1 and when the value of n was 4q plus 3, the value of n square minus 1 is always divisible by 8. Okay. In this problem, we need to prove that n square minus n is always divisible by 2 for every positive integer n. If I say n is any positive integer, then the value of n can be either even or odd. And we know that every even number is of the form 2q and every odd integer is of the form 2q plus 1. From the first question we solved. Okay. So we will write, we know that every positive integer is of the form 2q or 2q plus 1. That is, it is even or odd. Okay. So we take two cases. In the first case, we assume that n is an even integer. And in the second case, we assume that n is an odd integer. Okay. Substituting n as 2q in the given expression, we get n square minus n equals to 2q whole square minus 2q. And if you substitute 2q plus 1 as n, we get 2q plus 1 whole square minus 2q plus 1. Okay. If we solve this expression, we get 2q whole square is 4q square minus 2q, and we write 2n square minus n here. If we solve this expression, we get 2q plus 1 whole square is 4q square plus 1 plus 4q, and we get minus 2q minus 1. From this expression, we can see that 4 and 2 are both multiples of 2. So we take 2 common from these two terms and we get 2 square minus q. Now, in this side, we can see that we get 4q square plus 4q minus 2q is 2q, and 1 and minus 1 cancels out. Now, if we take 2 common from both these terms, we get twice of 2q square plus q. So let us take 2q square minus q as m here and 2q square plus q as m here. So we get n square minus n equals to 2m, and here also we get n square minus n equals to 2m. So we get that in both the cases, the value of the expression n square minus n is always divisible by 2, no matter whether the value of n is even or odd. Okay. So let us solve another question of this topic. Now in this question, we have to prove that the square of any positive integer, that can be odd, that can be even, is of the form 3m or 3m plus 1. So we can see here that this 1 should be the remainder, and this 3 should be b, and this m should be any value of q. Okay. So let us take value of a to be any positive integer. Let a be any positive integer and b equals to 3. Then according to Euclid division lemma, we get a equals to 3q plus r, where value of r lies between 0 and 3. 0 is inclusive and 3 is exclusive. Okay. Now see, we get 3 cases here. The first one being value of r is 0. Case 2 is value of r is 1. And case 3 is value of r is 2. Okay. If you put r equals to 0 in this expression, what do we get? We get a equals to 3q. If we put r equals to 1, we get a equals to 3q plus 1. And if we put r equals to 2, we get a equals to 3q plus 2. Now, we need to prove that the square of any positive integer. So we need to square all these 3 terms. So squaring both sides, we get a square equals to 3q whole square. Here we get a square equals to 3q plus 1 whole square. And here we get a square equals to 3q plus 2 whole square. So we get a square equals to 9q square. A square equals to 9q square plus 1 plus 6q. And a square equals to 9q square plus 4 plus 12q. Now, if you see, in this case where a is equals to 3q, we can see that if I take 3 common from these terms, we get a square equals to 3 times of 3q square. And assuming 3q square to be m, we can write this expression as a square equals to 3m. Okay. If we move toward this expression, here we can see that a square equals to 9q square plus 6q plus 1. Here, both 9 and 6 are multiples of 3. So we can take 3 common from both these terms. So on taking 3 common from both these terms, we get thrice of 3q square plus 2q plus 1. And substituting 3q square plus 2q as m, we get that a square equals to 3m plus 1. And in this expression, this side, a square equals to 9q square plus 12q, and we can write this 4 as 3 plus 1. Now again, we can see that 9, 12 and 3 are both multiples of 3. So we can take 3 common from all these three terms. So we can get thrice of 3q square plus 4q plus 1 plus 1. So on taking 3q square plus 4q plus 1 as m, we get that a square is equals to 3m plus 1. So in both three cases, we can see that the square of any positive integer, that was a square. Okay, a is any positive integer and its square is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1. Okay, so let us solve another questions based upon Euclid division lemma. Now if you look at this problem, it is very similar to the problem we just solved. In that problem, we needed to prove that the square of any positive integer is of the form 3m or 3m plus 1. In this problem, we need to prove that the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m, 9m plus 1 and 9m plus 8. So similarly, just like the previous problem, let us assume that a be any positive integer and b equals to 3. Okay. Now you must be wondering why I have taken b as 3 in this case, because here you must be thinking that b should be 9. Okay. If I take b as 9, the problem will still be solved very easily. But the problem is I need to solve the cube of 9 then. Okay. So I know that the cube of 9 is 729. Okay. But it will be complex for students of your class. So for the simplicity, we take value of b as 3 because we know that the cube of 3 is 27 and we can take 9 common from 27. Okay, 9 3 is 27. So we assume a to be any positive integer and value of b is 3. Okay, if I take value of b as 2, 4, 5, 6, the problem will still be solved. But taking common 9 will be very complex in that case. So always take smaller values for b such that on solving the given condition, here the condition is taking the cube of the perfect integer of the positive integer. On solving the condition, the term should be easily taken as common. Okay. So we assume b equals to 3. Then by Euclid division lemma, what do we get? We get a equals to 3q plus r, where values of r lies between 0 and 3. 0 is inclusive, 3 is exclusive. Okay, so we get again 3 cases. Case 1 is r equals to 0. Case 2, r equals to 1. Case 3 is r equals to 2. Okay. Now look, putting r equals to 0, we get 3q. Putting r is 1, we get 3q plus 1. And putting r equals to 2, we get r equals to 3q. So look, on cubing both sides, we get a cube equals to cube of 3q. And here we get a cube equals to cube of 3 cube plus 1. Here we get cube of 3 cube plus 2. Okay, on solving this expression, we get a cube equals to 27 q cube. On solving this expression, we get a cube equals to 27 q cube plus 1 plus 9 q into 3 cube plus 1, and on solving this expression we get it is 27 q cube plus 8 plus 3 2s are 6, 6 3s are 18, 18q into 3q plus 2. Now, if you look here, just as I said, we can take 9 common from these terms, 27 and cube. Okay, so taking 9 common, we get a cube equals to 9 times 3q cube. Okay, on solving this expression, we get 27q cube plus 1 plus 27q square plus 9q. Okay, and here we get 27q cube plus 8 plus 18 3s are. What is 18 3s are? 54. Q square plus 18 2s are 36 q. Okay, so here putting 3q cube as m, we get a cube equals to 3m. Sorry, my mistake. We get a cube equals to 9m. We have put 3q cube as m, so we get 9m. Okay. In this expression, what do we get? 27q cube plus 27q square plus 9q plus 1. Now we can see that 27 here, 9 are all multiples of 9. So we can take 9 common from all these three terms. So on taking 9 as common, we get 3q cube plus 3q square plus q plus 1. And substituting the value of 3q cube plus 3q square plus q as m, we get a cube equals to 9m plus 1. Okay. And in case 3, similarly, we can see that we can write 27q cube plus 54q square plus 36q plus 9 minus 1. We can write 8. Okay, we don't need to write 8 here because we need to prove the that the cube of any positive integer is 9m plus 8 itself. So here it is written 8. So we will continue it to be written as 8. Okay, so we can see here that 27, 54 and 36 are all multiples of 9. Okay, so we can write 9 as common from all these terms. Now, taking 9 common from these terms, we get 3q cube plus 6q square plus 4q plus 8. Okay, now taking 3q cube plus 6q square plus 4q as m, we get a cube equals to 9m plus 8. So we have successfully proven that the cube of any positive integer is either of the form 9m or 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. Okay, so let us move to another question. In this problem, we are said that a and b are two positive odd integers such that a is greater than b. Then we need to prove that a plus b by 2 and a minus b by 2 are two expressions. Then the value of either one of them will be even and the value of other is odd. Okay, so if this is even, then this will be odd, and if this is even, then this will be odd. Okay, so we know that the value of an odd positive integer is of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3 from the second question we did. Okay, so let us assume, let us take A equals to 4q plus 3 and B equals to 4q plus 1. Okay, I've taken A as 4q plus 3 and B as 4q plus 1 because we are given that the value of A is greater than B. So here I have written 3 and here I have written 1. Okay, so we just put these values in both the expressions. So on solving A plus B by 2, we get 4q plus 3 plus 4q plus 1 upon 2. That is 8q plus 4 upon 2. On dividing, we get 4q plus 2. Okay, so we can take 2 common from both these terms and we can write twice of q plus 1. Then let us assume q plus 1 is m. That implies that a plus b upon 2q equals to 2m, which is even. Okay, now if we solve a minus b upon 2, then we get 4q plus 3 plus minus 4q plus 1 upon 2. That is equals to 4q and 4q cancels out. Then 3 minus 1, what do we get? We get 2. And 2 upon 2 is 1. And we know that 1 is an odd integer. Okay. So which is odd. So we have successfully proven that if a and b are two positive odd integers such that a is greater than b, then either one of a plus b upon 2 and a minus b upon 2 is even and the other one is odd. Okay. So let us move to the next question now. Now look, in this problem, we are said that we need to prove that a positive integer is of the form 6q plus 5, then it is of the form 6q plus 2 for some integer q, but not conversely. It means that if a positive integer has the form 6q plus 5, a positive integer can have the form 6q plus 5, then it will surely have the form 3q plus 2. But every positive integer of the form 3q plus 2 will not be of the form 6q plus 5. Okay, so we are given that 6q plus 5 is our integer. Let n equals to 6q plus 5. But we know that any positive integer is of the form 3m, 3m plus 1 or 3m plus 2. Okay. But we know that any positive integer is of the form 3k, 3k plus 1 and 3k plus 2. Now, we are given that q is an integer, so we can substitute the value of q as 3k, 3k plus 1 or 3k plus 2. So we can do this one by one. In the first case, we substitute value of q as 3k. In the next case, we substitute value of q as 3k plus 1, and in the case third, we substitute value of q as 3k plus 2. Now substituting value of q as 3k in 6q plus 5, we get 6q plus 5 equals to 6 times of 3k plus 5, that is equals to 18k plus 30. Okay. Now here, if we substitute value of q as 3k plus 1, then we get 6 times of 3k plus 1 plus 5, that is equals to 18k plus 6 plus 5. Now In the third case, if we substitute value of q as 3k plus 2, we get 3q plus 5 equals to 6 times of 3k plus 2 plus 5. That is equals to 18k plus 12 plus 5. So now look at here. Okay, I have made a tiny mistake here. We need to put this bracket here instead of there. So we get the expression 18k plus 5. Now if you look here, if I take 3 common from these terms, first of all we can write this 18k plus 5 as 3 plus 2. Now if I take 3 common from the starting 2 terms, then we get thrice of 6k plus 1 plus 2. So we get 6q plus 5 equals to 3m plus 2, where m equals to 6k plus 1. Okay, I have substituted 6k plus 1 as m. So we get the expression 6q plus 5 equals to 3m plus 2. Now if I solve this expression, what do we get? We get 18k plus 11. Okay, now I have to again take some terms common such that I get 3 here and I get 2 here. Okay, so what substitution shall I make? I can write this 11 as 9 plus 2. Okay, then if you see, I shall get 3 here. Okay, so if I take 3 common from the starting 2 terms, then again I get 6k plus 3. And if I substitute 6k plus 3 as m, then what do I get? I get 6q plus 5 equals to 3m plus 2, which is again of the same form. Now finally in case 3, here we get 18k plus 17. First of all, remove 2 from the n term, then we get 18k plus 15. Okay, now this 18 and this 15 are again multiples of 3, so we take 3 common from both these terms, so we get thrice of 6k plus 5 and plus 2 at the end. Now substituting 6k plus 5 as m, we get 6q plus 5 is equals to 3m plus 2, which is again of the same form. So we have proven that if any positive integer is of the form 6q plus 1, then it is also of the form 3q plus 2. Okay, so let us move to another question now. Now look at this problem. In this problem we need to prove that the product of 3 consecutive integers. Now what does consecutive means? Consecutive means continuous, like the numbers 4, 5 and 6. We know that 5 comes after 4 and 6 comes after 5. Okay, so these terms are called consecutive. Okay, so now let the 3 consecutive terms be a plus 1 and a plus 2. Okay, then if the product of these numbers is divisible by 6, let us assume the first number is a and b equals to 6. Okay, then by Euclid division lemma, we have a equals to 6q plus r where value of r lies between 0 and 6. 6 is not inclusive. Okay. Now, if we look at case 1, then value of r is 0, so a equals to 6q. There will be 6 cases in this part. So case 2 is r equals to 1, so a equals to 6q plus 1. If we look at case 3, we get r equals to 2, so a equals to 6q plus 2. And in case 4, we get r equals to 3, so a equals to 6q plus 3. In case 5, we get r equals to 4, so a equals to 6q plus 4. And in case 6, we get r equals to 5, so a equals to 6q plus 5. Now, if a is 6q, then a plus 1 will be 6q plus 1, and a plus 2 will be 6q plus 2. Okay. And if a is 6q plus 1, then a plus 1 will be 6q plus 2, and a plus 2 will be 6q plus 3. If a is 6q plus 2, then a plus 1 will be 6q plus 3, a plus 2 is 6q plus 4. Let me fill this for you. Okay, now look. If we find the product of these terms, what do we get? So a times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q times 6q plus 1 times 6q plus 2. Okay. Here what do we get? A times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q plus 1 times 6q plus 2 times 6q plus 3. Here a times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q plus 2 times 6q plus 3 times 6q plus 4. A times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q plus 3 times 6q plus 4 times 6q plus 5. Here we get a times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q plus 4 times 6q plus 5 times 6q plus 6. Here we get a times a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6q plus 5 times 6q plus 6 times 6q plus 7. Now you must be wondering, we need to multiply all these terms to prove what I have been asked, but it is not the case. Now if you look here, whatever the terms behind may be, we can clearly see that we have 6 as the multiple of this expression. Okay, the whole expression is multiplied by 6. So let q times 6q plus 1 times 6q plus 2 equals to m. Then a into a plus 1 times a plus 2 equals to 6m. So it is clearly a multiple of 6. We get 6 here. Okay, so the whole expression is a multiple of 6. Now if you look here, that we can see that I can get 2 common from these two terms. Okay, so I write 2 here, and I can get 3 common from these two terms. So this expression will remain as it is. I have taken 2 common from these two terms, so this 6 will become 3q and this 2 will become 1. Now I have taken 3 common from these two terms, so this 6q will become 2q and this 3 will become 1. Okay, so if I substitute 6q plus 1 into 3q plus 1 into 2q plus 1 as m, then we get a times a plus 1 into a plus 2 equals to 6m again. Okay, this 6, 2 3s are 6. In the same fashion, in all these cases, we can see that I can take 2 common from these two terms and 3 common from both these terms. So we get 6. Okay, I can get 3 common from these two terms. I can get 2 common from these two terms, and again I will get 6. I can get 2 common from these two terms. I can get okay. I don't need to take 2 common from these terms, because I can directly get 6 common from the last binomial. Okay, now in this case I can take 6 common from here. So in all the 6 cases I can get 6 common from the given expression. So these all 6 cases are a multiple of 6. So we have proven that the product of 3 consecutive integers is always divisible by 6. This was the last question. So Euclid division lemma has been finished completely. I hope you must have understood this topic thoroughly. If you have any doubts regarding this topic, then feel free to ask them in the comment section. I will be discussing Euclid's division algorithm in the next video, which I will be posting very soon. Okay, I hope you like the video. If you like the content, please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.